In this video, I'm going to show you a complete step-by-step, walk you through everything you need to do and need to prepare for in order to have absolute 100% video interview success. Come on back. You don't want to miss this. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how to master the video interview. In today's climate, especially with the fact that we're getting a lot more health issues and concerns that are arising, especially in 2020, I'm sure you guys have all heard. I'm not even going to say the word. But even before this kind of crisis, video interviews have been becoming really, really popular. I mean, used at scale for massive companies, Fortune 500 companies, small businesses, medium businesses, anybody who's hiring anybody. Video communications and video interviewing has been a predominant tool. I've been telling this to my clients and telling this to my students, for years now, that this is the future of communications. Personal branding is just synonymous with modern communications. You need to understand how to use these tools, how to communicate through this medium, or else you're going to be left behind. I want you to be Netflix, not Blockbuster. If you're still conducting your job search, your career transition, your business growth with a Blockbuster mentality, it's hasta la pasta, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing down below and making sure that you check out. I've got a ton of videos. If you're new here, I'm a personal branding coach, executive career coach. I work for LinkedIn. I'm also a business owner, a business communications professor, author, speaker. The list goes on and on. And there's links that I have in the description down below. I want you to go check them out. I've got tons of videos on career search, job search, interview, help, personal branding, LinkedIn branding. LinkedIn has become an essential part of your career search and job search. So you want to go check those links down in the description below, or just subscribe to the channel, or go to professornez.com/livestreams. You can find out all this content. It's all free. You don't have to pay for any of it. I'm bringing bone marrow content on a weekly basis here on my channel. You don't want to miss this stuff. So go check out those links in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into it. I want to start by just really giving you some kind of background on the video interview, and then we're going to go step by step, but these are going to be very concrete, very actionable and practical and applicable tips. Not only am I one of the top executive career coaches on LinkedIn, but I'm also a business communications professor. So everything that I'm going to share with you today is based on data and diligent research. I have access, being a professor, I teach at Chapman University and Laverne University, as several others, in the business school, and I have access to all these great research institutes. So you're going to get a cacophony of data-driven metrics, and all of these things are going to really relate to you being successful in the video interview. So without further ado, let's jump right into it with tip number one. So tip number one is you need to find a quiet, private place that is free from all possible interruptions. Interruptions can really ruin your chances of a video interview. It's possible. If I were you, I would avoid coffee shops. I would avoid loud areas. You may think, well, I'll just take my laptop down to Starbucks, and they have a great Wi-Fi connection, and I'm going to talk about connection in just a second. But you want to make sure that you're someplace where there is as little to minimal distractions and interruptions as possible, because those distractions, those interruptions are going to really affect your ability to execute the video interview properly. When you're there face to face, you may see, people come and go, or you may hear sounds, and you may actually, have somebody come in and talk to the interviewer, especially if you're going for an upper management, director, or senior C-suite level role. Those kind of interruptions are almost expected. But when you're in a video interview, it's important that you have as little distraction as possible, so you can focus, so you can show that professionalism, and actually you're sending a message by having a private area that you're conducting the video interview on. You're actually showing them implicitly, sort of non-verbally, that you have taken the care, that you've paid attention to the details, and you want to make sure that this goes as smoothly and as powerfully and impactful as possible. So make sure that you find someplace quiet, private, and free from all interruptions. And so one of the things that I do is I try to really stay either in my home or find a office that I can maybe even rent out or share, or talk to a colleague and say, hey, can I use your office for the next hour? Something like that, where you have, a private space, you can close the door. And definitely, this relates to this tip number 1 as well. Turn off your phone during the video interview. I've seen this time and time again with my clients, where they've actually, been in the middle of a video interview and their phone has gone off. And they even if you think you're clever and you put it on vibrate, sometimes that vibration sound even comes through. You'll be amazed. And so I would just turn off your phone completely during this video interview. Trust me, these are nonverbal cues that they are judging every single molecule of how you present yourself, how you convey yourself, how you communicate yourself, so many things. Don't think that the video interview is informal. The video interview is just as severe, if not more severe, than the in-person interview. So it's really important to really minimize all of those distractions. The second tip, and this has a lot to do with kind of technical things, and I'm going to kind of combine a few of these together. The second tip relates to how you come across on the camera, how you come across on the device. You need to select a device, hopefully a laptop or a desktop, that has a functioning webcam. You don't have to go out and buy a webcam. You don't need a professional microphone. You don't need professional lighting like I have right now. But it's important that you think about the technical aspects of how you're presenting yourself, because again, you're being judged on everything. So make sure that you have a working webcam. Any laptop or desktop that was built in the last 8 to 10 years should have a webcam that suffices. Make sure that video equipment is working. Test it out before your interview. Test it out before you engage. Make sure that everything is operating at full optimization, and also make sure that your audio is coming through okay. I've had plenty of clients who have amazing backgrounds, amazing skills, but because of these little technical oversights, it sends a bad impression. First impressions are everything, Nez Nation. First impressions are absolutely everything. So I know this may seem very trivial, or may seem like, my God, why is he being so, focused on these little technical nuances? It's everything. So audio and video, make sure that is all working properly. Test that out time and time again. Do a practice run. I use a tool called Zoom for all my client meetings, for even conducting my online courses, workshops, webinars. It's a fantastic tool. There's a link down in the description. Sign up is free. I would recommend that you pay the pro kind of package because it's so inexpensive. And this is going to be a tool that you're going to be using for everything, not just interviewing, but you're going to be pretty much in any professional capacity in any industry. This tool is going to come in majorly handy. It's literally like having a briefcase, and it's the equivalent of having a briefcase in today's terminology. Having Zoom, having an iPhone or a tablet or device or whatever, these are things that are essential business utilities that everybody is going to need. So I would highly recommend that you up your game a little bit on Zoom and buy the pro package. It's very inexpensive. Again, there's a link in the description down below. You can go check that out. Again, sign up is free initially, so sign up for free. Practice as much as you can. Maybe practice with your wife, even if they're in the other room, or your husband, or a friend who's down the street, a neighbor. Practice as much as you can. Make sure that you test that your audio, your video is working. The second thing related to the kind of technical aspects is we have actually found, and data has supported this, that when you have a very bright, well-lit camera presence, in other words, there's lighting coming from the foreground, not the background, that produces a very effective and a great impression on the interviewer, or really anybody that you're talking to through video conferencing and through video interviewing. And so you don't have to buy professional lights. You don't have to go that far. I have a super easy tip that can fix everything. And no, don't go outside. But what I would say is, if you're in an office or home doing this and you found a private space, try to position either some lights that you have around the house, or try to position your laptop or desktop in front of a window. okay, so that the window is facing you, natural lighting coming through. Hopefully it's during the day and you have that natural light coming through. That can make all the difference in the world. Well-lit scenery, a well-lit shot or frame pays massive dividends. If you've got light coming from behind you, it's going to look very, very dark, and it's going to leave a kind of strange impression, not a so positive impression, in other words, on the person that you're interviewing with. Plus, it's going to take away light from your face, so it's going to be more difficult to see your face. You're going to kind of look like one of those people who, have their identity hidden on one of those murder kind of, documentaries or shows where they don't want to, have their appearance revealed. That is not the right impression that you want to create when you're doing a video interview. So please, please, please keep in mind, lighting in the front, not from behind. Huge. It sounds trivial, huge. Third thing related to technical aspects of the video interview, make sure you have a very strong internet connection. I cannot stress or emphasize anymore how absolutely significant and important this is. I have had so many clients who have, conducted a video interview. Everything is going beautifully. They're building that rapport. They're answering the questions effectively. Their answers are very strong and substantive. And then they get maybe halfway through or even towards the end and boom, cut off. Internet goes down. They shut off. They get disconnected from the meeting. And then it creates this whole kind of impression in the interviewer like, oh, what happened here? It's not the end of the world if you have a disconnection, but it does, ruin what could have been an otherwise perfect presentation and interview. And so this is an easy fix. This is an easy way to circumvent this. Do not rely on Wi-Fi, especially Wi-Fi from Starbucks or other businesses that you may frequent or establishments that you may frequent. Do not rely on somebody else's Wi-Fi. Don't even rely on your Wi-Fi. Even if your Wi-Fi is 1 gig up or 1 gig down. If you don't know what that means technically, it just means super, super fast. Even if you think you've got the fastest internet on the planet, it doesn't matter. Make sure, and this is how you fix this, make sure you actually have a hardwired Ethernet connection to your device. That will make all the difference in the world. This is something I learned kind of the hard way because I'm not intrinsically a technical person per se. And so, having a live stream podcast and having a live stream show and doing a lot of content creation and video and live video, doing this for years, I've learned a lot of this through trial and error. So learn from my mistakes. Even if you've got very, very fast internet, it's not as stable, it's not as secure as if you're hardwired connected through an Ethernet cable connection. Make sure that you do that. It's an easy fix. It's a much steadier stream. There's still obviously a potential that disconnection could happen because that can happen. And I'm going to talk about ways in which you can explain later on in the video. I'll talk about how you can explain your way out of that, or at least, try to rectify that if it happens and come up with a professional way of explaining yourself. But you have a significantly lesser chance of any kind of disconnection taking place if you're hardwire connected. So make sure that you do that. It's not difficult. It's very, very easy to do. Most modems that you buy, whether you have a provider that's whatever provider you use, most of them actually supply you with an Ethernet cable. Google it if you don't know what it means. Google if you're like, what does he mean by Ethernet cable? A lot of this stuff, just Google it. But trust me, you want a hardwired connection. You probably know somebody in your family or a friend or colleague who's a technically inclined individual. Ask them, draw upon these people, get some help. There's nothing wrong with that. And the last thing I want to say related to technical aspects of the video interview and how to really get the best out of this and make sure that your video interview is completely successful is to, close any unnecessary tabs, browser tabs, or applications during the video interview. I mean, you tested your audio, you tested your webcam, you've got a private location, you're well lit, your audio, video, your connection is strong. The last thing you need is a browser or notifications or an email popping up through and causing all sorts of distractions because they can see when your eyes roam or what have you. You don't want that. It's just not worth it. So you may forget this too, but this is a checklist. Hopefully you're taking notes during this video, but this is a checklist. So make sure that you have any unnecessary, close Facebook, close LinkedIn, close your email tab, close your any other messaging or browser or application or anything in the background. Just focus on this interview that you're having with this company, with this hiring manager, with this recruiter, because this could make or break your chance. So to really ensure that video interview success, these tips are absolute gold. If you follow these, I promise you, you're going to have a 90% increase in success rate than you would otherwise. So make sure that you really go back and watch this over and over again, even before right before your next video interview, because it's going to pay massive dividends. I promise you, this stuff works. I've been doing this for over 28 years. I've been a video creator, content creator. I've been an executive career coach for a very, very long time. So please follow these tips verbatim. Okay, the next tip that I'm going to share with you is going to talk about how you yourself, forget about the technical aspects. We talked about the technical aspects. We talked about getting that set up and making sure that that's efficient and appropriate. Now let's talk about you. What do you wear in a video interview, Nez? I don't know what to wear. Am I supposed to wear the same thing that I wear in an in-person interview? Or because it's a video interview and I'm out there in the room, should I just, dress comfortably? How should I dress, when I'm in the video interview? So here's what I say to this. There's a lot of varying opinions, but I always say this. Your video interview is more than likely the first point of contact. It's the first impression that you're going to make. If I were you, I would dress professionally and treat it with the same severity that you would an in-person interview. Now, what does that mean? Do you have to wear a suit and tie? No. Research the company, do your due diligence, find out exactly what the culture is like, find out what the what is appropriate for that specific company and that specific interviewer, and what they're exactly looking for, and how they actually carry their own dress code. You have to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of investigating. It may not be, but here's what I would say. May not be a suit and tie. It may be a little more casual or business casual. I always say the best kind of mode of practice, or the best kind of thing to do, is to always dress a little bit higher or a little more up than what the norm is. You want to create that great first impression. I would stay away from very, very bright colors. Opt for softer colors instead. If you're wearing a tie, wear a solid color rather than a pattern one. If you're wearing glasses, try to adjust the lighting in the room to reduce the glare from the glasses. Now, I have a little bit of glare in my glasses, but it's not blocking my eyes entirely. And plus, I usually, these are readers, so it's not really something that, even though my eyes are actually getting worse and worse, it's not that I need glasses all the time, but I've gotten so accustomed to wearing them that I pretty much wear them all the time. And so make sure that you're dressing appropriately given the context of the company or interviewer that you're interviewing with. Make sure that you understand. Remember, it's all about them. This has nothing to do with you. You have to cater your communication. You have to cater your presentation. You have to cater your delivery. You have to cater the substance of what you're going to say. Everything is catered around your audience, the person, the company, the organization. You need to cater your message. You need to cater your presentation to them. So make sure that you research that, and you'll be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. The next tip I'm going to talk to you about is about body language, specifically eye contact. Now, you can see right here that the camera it looks like I'm looking right at you because I'm looking right at the camera lens. Now, eye contact is not meant to torture you. When people say, I'm an international keynote speaker and I do a lot of public speaking coaching as well. When we say make eye contact with the audience, that's not to torture you and be like, okay, now I'm trying to focus on this and now I got to look at them in the eye. I don't want to look them in the eye. It's not torture. When you make eye contact, it shows that you care. It shows that you really want to direct your message to that individual. You want them to be engaged. You care about them paying attention to what you have to say. It's how you are in a natural conversation. I mean, when you're having coffee with somebody, a friend, at a coffee shop, and you're looking around at everything but them, how do you think that person feels, as your participation and contribution to the conversation? If you're looking around and constantly looking at your phone and you're not making eye contact with them, they're going to think that you're disengaged. So making eye contact shows that you're engaged, shows that you care about the listener, you care about the interviewer, the person hiring you, the person who's going to pay your check. So you have to treat the camera lens as if it's a human being. This takes a lot of practice, which is why I advocate practice before you execute these video interviews. Practice with family, loved ones, and friends, but get used to making eye contact. You don't have to make solid eye contact the whole time, because on the monitor you may see their face and your face, particularly if you're using Zoom, but actually really any video conferencing tool. But make eye contact once in a while, just like you would in a natural conversation. And make sure that the camera is at eye level. You don't want to have a camera that's looking up at you, so it's like looking at your chin and you're looking down at the camera, or you don't want it to be too high, too low. Try to make sure, and again, this is what I mean by practicing before you execute, and making sure all your technical, your presentation, your delivery is all, on point before you have your interview. Make sure that the camera is near or at eye level, just like you would in a normal conversation, and you're going to be on point with your body language. So it's really, really important. Don't try to gesticulate too much and do too many hand gestures. Just be natural. Just be you. I mean, I use my hands a lot when I talk, but just look directly at the camera, try to make eye contact, don't fidget as much, and try to be as professional as you can and natural as you can, and you're going to be right as rain, I promise you. One more thing I want to add about eye contact and video interview body language is when the interviewer is talking, show that you're engaged, Look at the camera, make eye contact, nod, smile. You want to exude that positive body language. You want to exude that enthusiasm, that you really are passionate and enthusiastic about this position, and you want to listen, you want to learn more, you want to be as attentive as possible, and you want to really project that optimism, and they're going to pick that up, even through video conferencing, even through video. Video is a powerful tool, regardless of an interview or not. They're going to pick that up, so you want to exude that. You don't want to just like fold your arms when they're talking and just kind of like, you don't want to do that. You want to keep that eye contact, nod and listen, and just have a straight posture. Everything that you would do in person, do the same thing in video. Okay, you don't want to treat the video interview really that much different. And the way that these tools operate, the technical innovation, it's not that hard. It's very easy to adapt. It's very easy to make it seem like it's actually that they're actually in the room with you. It's very, very interactive. The technology has become so advanced that, in my opinion, actually video conferencing is even more real than an in-person conference, if not the same. Okay, I said I was going to come back to this. If things go wrong, like if your audio or video stops, or if, noise interrupts the conversation, or if someone enters the room unexpectedly, this happens all the time. There was a viral video, I can't remember how long ago it was. Most of you guys have probably seen it, where the guy was, I think, had an interview on CNN or something, and his kid came in the room, and his wife did like a swan dive in the background. It went viral. It was extremely funny. But if things go wrong, I don't want you to panic. It's always, warranted and expected that things will go wrong at times, and sometimes it's out of your control, but I want you to have some backup plans just in case. So if your video or your audio stops working, maybe before the interview, if I were you, I would ask the interviewer for a phone number where you can reach them if you experience technical difficulties. If the video cuts out, call them at that number. Ask if you can continue the interview by phone or if you can reschedule. If you take those kind of measures beforehand, it's going to show them, wow, this person has really, thought about this. This person really has, shown me that they care and shown me their professionalism, that they, really want to make sure that this connection is strong. They really want to make sure that we can have this conversation. It's a great implicit message to send. If noise interrupts, like if there's a siren or construction or a lawnmower, sometimes that happens, just apologize for the interruption and ask them for a few moments until the noise has subsided. You may want to mute the microphone if the noise is severe. Learn how to do that. Again, play around with the tools. It's very, very easy to do on Zoom. Again, there's a link down in the description for you to sign up for Zoom. You can practice all this. It's not difficult to do this, but just simply say, you know what, I'm so sorry, there's a siren going by, or you know what, it seems like there's people working on the building next door. I really, really apologize. Be humble. Be a human being. Apologize. Be real. Be a human being. Empathize with their situation and watch what happens. I promise you that these things, everybody understands these things. Most professionals, most hiring managers, whoever they are, will be very, very empathetic and understanding. It's very rare that you're going to come across somebody who doesn't empathize or doesn't, acquiesce and say, hey, you know what, it's okay, don't worry about it. If somebody enters the room unexpectedly, like family members or a pet or housemate or whatever, just apologize. Again, apologize to the interview, ask for a few moments, mute your microphone, maybe turn off your camera. Again, practice this and step away and deal with it and then come back. Just make sure that the room is secure before you start your interview again. Again, these things happen, so this is not something that is anything to worry about. But if you take these contingencies and you have these backup plans, and you put these sort of measures in place beforehand, it's going to really pay benefits and massive dividends, and it's going to show the interviewer, it's going to show the company, the organization, that your professionalism and your ability to connect and your ability to kind of take care of problems is real and powerful and impactful, and that's going to really send a good message to them. Last but not least, as with any job interview, you should conclude by thanking the interview for their time. Send them a follow-up thank you email later that day if you can. This message will help build a stronger connection with your potential employer and help you progress to the next step. That is a really, really huge tool and device that I've told all my clients, I've advocated to my clients. You don't have to do a personal thank you letter, but just sending them an email and saying, hey, I really appreciate your time. It was such a pleasure talking with you. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. It was really a pleasure talking with you. I had such a great time meeting with you. I look forward to hearing from you. Maybe even, dare I say, putting a postscript and saying, is there any chance you can tell me how soon I will be able to hear from you? But don't be pushy. Again, just be a human being, and you are going to have a fantastic video interview. As I said before, this channel is dedicated to mindset and messaging. We've got a ton of videos all about how to really advance your career, build your personal brand, make more money, build your own business, get your mindset right, help you with interviews, help you with LinkedIn branding, help you with resume, help you with career search, job search. All of those links are in the description. Just subscribe to our channel because I'm creating brand new videos every single week on how you can grow faster, earn more, advance your career, get your mindset right. It's Professor Nez. It's so happy that you guys stopped by. I really, really appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see more of, what kind of topics, what kind of problems, what kind of challenges that you face. Leave a comment down below. I respond to all the comments. I would love to hear from you. But go check out those other videos, especially the links in the description. You don't want to miss those. They're going to help you immensely. Thank you so much.